Laudium Sun TV. We are currently at the LCSA home on 2nd Avenue, where Prisha Bhoola is expected to give a seminar on corporate governance. Let's take a look inside.
All praise is due to the Almighty Lord of the universe, the all-merciful Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. Guide us in the straight path, the path of whom you have bestowed your grace, and doubt not of those who have gone astray. Bless everyone and all that is good and pure. We pray for peace and harmony for everyone, including our brothers and sisters suffering in countries like Palestine, India, Kashmir, everywhere else. Please pray for them. Thank you very much. Amen.
I'd like to call on Judge. Judge doesn't really need an introduction. In fact, that's not a very good thing to say of somebody here who has so many accolades. But if I were to take the time to mention all of Judge's accolades and all his qualifications, I think we'll spend our hour doing that. So, Judge, without further ado, if you would like to introduce the topic, please.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for that. So it's nice to see all of you here today, and we'd like to really welcome all of you. And I think today is an important day in terms of the topic for discussion, because we live in a community that has a multitude of organizations, and I think there's the richness of Laudium is the number and the nature of community organizations that thrive. On Sunday, I had to attend a meeting of the Legacy Foundation. So today you attend this meeting. Next week it's child welfare. And it gets a lot. But it says to us that the community is alive. It's a caring community. And they want to connect and to make a difference in the lives of people. And that's really commendable. But the reality is that many community organizations are voluntary organizations. And for voluntary organizations to be able to thrive and to be able to function effectively, you need much more than simply a passion and a vision. You obviously need that, because without a passion and a vision, you can't really achieve much. Because increasingly, we live in a world of regulation. Community organizations need finances. They need to have a solid reputation. So if someone asks you to donate to an organization, you want to know that the money that you're putting into the organization will be put to good use. You want to know that the organization functions on the basis of the principles of transparency, that its affairs are open, that its books of account are open. You want to know that the organization is accountable to its members, accountable to the community. You want to know that every cent that comes into the coffers of the organization is properly accounted for and properly recorded in the books of the organization. Because without that, and all you need is for one bad piece of information to go out there. And while we live in a community that's really positive in what it does, gossip also thrives in this community with equal speed. And someone could say, did you hear about that 500 rands that went missing? And that could often be the death knell of an organization. It might not be factual, but the perception of that. And it's for that reason that an organization is much more than simply the people who make it up and its vision and its word. It's about the processes, the structures, the systems that are put in place to ensure accountability.
Morning, everybody. I hope you can all see that, and can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much for the introduction, Auntie Hafsa, and thank you, Uncle Jody. I can call Judge Uncle because we're all from the same community, and you know in Laudium everyone's our uncle and auntie. So today I'm going to talk to you a bit about governance in non-profit organizations.
We're going to have a question and answer session, if that's okay with you, Prisha. Any questions? I'll bring the mic to you.
My name is Vasim Naidu. I'm from the Laudium Retirement Home. I serve on the board, Victoria Hindu School as well. I have a question where the board claims a management or an accounting fee. Is that legal? some boards claim up to 40 to 60% fees. To manage the board or to run the organization.
Come across that situation so you first have to understand why the board is claiming that fee. So is it just purely to run board meetings?
Actually, the management of the organization as such.
But the board doesn't manage the organization, first of all. The board oversees the management, so there should be a management team in place.
Yeah,
so on the face of it, I don't know the detail, but on the face of it, I would say that's not really in keeping with proper governance. A board should be charging a management fee. If you remunerate a board, that's completely fine as long as there's a resolution in place that you remunerate board members.
I just want to have a clarity. When the board of any organization is being elected, but now you spoke about the board of governance. Now, how does the board of governance get elected? Is it elected by which body? Or are any shareholders of particular companies involved also being elected on the board of governance?
Okay, so for a profit organization, for a business, the board of governance is the board. Okay, so the shareholders will elect board members and they'll elect a chairperson, and the chairperson must recruit board members. Okay, in a non-profit it works differently because everything is on a voluntary basis. So you have board members there who may be prominent members of the community or who are strategic members who can open doors, maybe with official bodies. So they come and volunteer as board members. But there your chairperson is also responsible for recruiting those board members.
Finish. But to gain benefits, of course, the donor could get tax benefits and all that type of thing. But they're afraid, in order to do that SARS may be investigating that NPO itself. And so that if I get a donation, a substantial donation, I'll be investigated. You see. So would the donors be then safe from this type of investigation if they want to make a substantial type of donations that can make NPOs in function and carry out God's mandate?
If I were going to answer, should I answer? I'll add to what you said. Okay, I think when it comes to anonymous donors, the organization should know who the donor is. So in as much as you may not record who it is, they want to remain anonymous, but for your own accounting purposes, you need to have some record.
Yes,
you don't have to disclose it to SARS. You don't have to disclose it to SARS. Yeah. And if I must say, SARS doesn't have the time to investigate small organizations. And at the end of the day, what we are doing is we're actually assisting government. Yeah. I think their concern is when you have Section 18 certificates and you make millions of rands of donations and you expect a rebate or a refund from SARS, that's when they may, become a bit concerned. But ordinarily, I don't think donors should be concerned about being exposed.
Yeah, look, there's a difference, there's a distinction between knowing who your donors are and then willfully, not being transparent about your income. You can know who your donors are, they can ask to be anonymous. You have a duty to know who they are. Okay. But you don't have to report on the donors' details. But you have to be transparent about your income and how you're deploying that.
Hello, my name is Prisha Bhoola. Today I'm at the Laudium Care Services for the Aged, and today we really had an information session on good governance in non-profit organizations. So we introduced the Independent Code of Governance to non-profit organizations, and the purpose of today's meeting was just to introduce the topic of good governance and why it's important for non-profits and how they should be accountable for funding, how they should serve their purpose, and how this fits in with voluntary organizations. Thank you.